be a sneakerhead.
Definitely. I'm gonna try to check in. My name is Mateo Dominguez, and I resell shoes.
Mateo is one of the hardest workers I know. He's been one of my best friends since we met freshman year during cross country, and ever since then he's been grinding. Whether it was school, running, or frisbee, shoes were no exception. He's currently killing it in the resale industry with his company M&M Resell. Essentially, reselling breaks down to supply and demand. Shoe companies will release a specific amount of incredibly sought after shoes at a certain price. Within seconds, they'll be sold out. Resellers will take the shoes they just purchased to a reselling website like StockX or GOAT, where they can sell the shoes for much, much more than what they bought them for. Problem is, these reselling sites will charge a hefty service fee, which is a turnoff for many entrepreneurs like Mateo. To maximize profits, Mateo started his own company with a friend from school. They decided that they would rather sell the shoes themselves instead of pay the service fee from those websites. Through this, M&M Resell was born, and with it, one of the hardest working entrepreneurs I know. I sat down with Mateo to take a deeper dive into who he really is and what makes him tick.
Um, I've always, I was always into fashion. I was like, at least just like what made an outfit. So I was never a lot of middle school boys and even high school boys, they just like get a pair of pants and a t-shirt and beat up Vans or Converse, and that's fine because that's what works for you, or like that's what works for that person. But me, it was never enough. Like I wanted to match. Like if I wore white with blue, I wanted a little bit of blue on my pants or my shorts, and then like a little hint of blue in my shoes, and that led to me like, oh, I don't have a pair of blue shoes, so I'm gonna go buy a pair of blue shoes. Or like buying a pair of blue shorts is easy, but buying a pair of blue shoes that you actually like is a whole nother process. And then it just got me into like, okay, what kind of shoes do I like? Whoa, other people like these kinds of shoes are the same shoes. Why is this shoe worth $500? And then you look into that and be like, oh, like that's a really cool story. I would never pay $500, but I like that story. And then you find other shoes that are like, I like that story so much, I'm willing to pay this much for it. And it just like, everything gets piled on each other, and now you start collecting, because that's just how much like I just love this sneaker, so I want to own that so I can wear it and show off that part of my personality, because that shoe looks like it defines me from the ankle down, and I think that's cool. And so what inspired what kind of shoes I like was a big thing for everyone is basketball. I've been playing basketball my whole life. When you go on a basketball court, there's a whole, there's, I mean, there's casual shoes, running shoes, there's basketball shoes, and those basketball shoes, like they're so willing to be so loud and so diverse. What I mean by loud is like a different array of colors, and diverse is like what kind of, like what structure, in what structure is this shoe made? Like high top, low top? Is it wide? Is it skinny? Like what kind of um, innovations are into this shoe? Like cushioning system, comfort, and then you just like pick what you like. And everybody, it's like the one place that you go to, everybody's wearing something different. You walk on the streets, you see people wearing like a ton of people wearing the same like business like shoes, the same classic black and white checkered Vans slip-ons. But you on the basketball court, everybody has something different, and you just have to like, and then you just pick what you like. But for sneakerheads, it's never enough because you can't just own one. You have to own like, you feel like you have to own a lot more. And then you're like, I want to have this kind of diversity off of the basketball court. So then you start getting other shoes that aren't your basketball shoes, because you got to keep those ones clean for the court so they still perform well. And then you go out and you get other shoes, and you look into those, like why, like what is this one worth? Where can I get this one? Like why do I like this one so much? And it just becomes like a whole collection. So coming into high school, I was already running cross country, playing basketball, playing volleyball, and I wanted to do all those three in high school. So cross country came first, finished the season. That was awesome. Met great people. And then went out for basketball, and I got cut, which led me to winter training for track, which basically turned me into a year-long runner in high school, and that was all 4 years. So I spent all my time with all the cross-country guys and loved every minute that I got to spend with all of them. You learn more and more about these people because you're spending like every single run. When you're on a run, you're just talking to people and you just get to know them more. And like I said before, that's like one of my favorite things in the world is just like getting to know people and what they're interested in. And I found out a couple people are into shoes, and then even a smaller number of them like into like the hype stuff, like the expensive stuff. They understand that market, and then it just got narrowed down to my boy Mason, who we would just nonstop from class in the locker room to practice, just nonstop talk about shoes and like buying and selling them or buying them and keeping them, and it just led to us. It just made sense for us to bond together and make our own little company where we could share this with other people who liked what we were doing. But throughout the whole cross country experience, it taught me discipline, taught me about like work ethic, taught me to show up on time, and it introduces, like, any extracurricular is gonna introduce you to more people, and then those people introduce you to more people, and you just become a people person like automatically by doing extracurriculars. But everything that cross country teaches me, whether it's through the training or like in the races, like when you have to be persistent in the races, like you're not gonna give up, but then you always have to be hungry for more there too. You always have to be hungry to beat the person in front of you. And then when you cross that line, and it's like just a sense of, usually as long as you like, if you did what you thought you were supposed to do, you feel a sense of relief. It's like, I want to do it again. And then you regroup and you share this feeling with all your boys, and it's just like a whole nother family, and like bonding that I did not get in basketball or volleyball or any other sport. Like, I've never been so close with my team than I was in cross country. And I would say that has to do with, like, you share your success with each other and you do it for 4 years, and it's all year round. There's no season. It's like you have in season and then 3 seasons of training for that season, and you do everything together, and you're practicing together, you're going to school together, and you're hanging out after practice. Like, you can't get enough of each other, and all you want to do is like you just want to see them all the time, because that is what makes you happy. You don't realize it, but that's what's shaping you to when you come out of high school is who you hang around. And I have no regrets with who I hung out with in high school, and that's a big thank you to cross country. So going into junior year was the year or the summer that I wanted to make varsity. That was the year that I was hoping to make varsity, and I still didn't know if I was gonna be in that running. But varsity cross country's team bonding is going on a weekend in the woods, or like just somewhere like away from everything, and ideally take away your phones and stuff and just isolate yourself with your brothers. And that weekend we got to focus on, we got to focus on like what our goals were for the season, what we were about to accomplish, and like our vision for the end of the season. And we got to talk about that and do it together and be on the same page, but also just like get to know each other better. And you go out and explore, and we found like a rope swing, and that rope swing was like the most iconic thing from that weekend was going to the top of this log that was on an incline and swing all the way into the lake and just jump straight into the lake. And everybody like, what my favorite part about that was like everybody was hyping you up. Unnecessary to hype up someone jumping into water, but you'll be up here and everyone's like screaming at you as you're coming down. It was just like a movie. I don't like. It's just like that was just a perfect way to end the summer. Favorite shoe that I've sold is gonna be the Kyrie 4 Lucky Charms, just because of the story of what we went through to go through that. So, my friend Brandon Higashi really wanted these shoes, really badly. So we went to his house. We had both of our computers, our phones, our iPad, and we're just trying to get one pair of shoes. And out of all those devices, we got one. And then we checked the price, and we're like, oh, it's going for like it's going for twice the retail. So we're like, oh, let's just go to the mall. So we went to the mall, waited in line for like another 2 hours, got another 2 pairs. And we were both like really stoked about those. Flipped them for like 80 to 100. It's pretty good for one pair, 80 to 100 each. But like we were not planning on doing that at all. And I think that's probably like one of the first shoes that I bought with the intent to resell. Because before I would just buy stuff for myself and then like sell it when I was done with it. But that was kind of the spark about a year and a half ago. That was like one of the significant ones. Personally, my favorite shoe is the Kobe 9 Elite. And it's because it has everything that I love into one shoe. It's a basketball shoe. That's like one thing that got me into sneakers in general, was playing basketball, and everybody has like their own different shoes, different colors, everything. So basketball sneaker. My favorite childhood basketball player was Kobe. And the fashion statement that he made when he came out with this Kobe 9, because all the other basketball shoes were like low tops to mid tops. So like there to there. Nah. Like there to there. The Kobe 9 Elite is like here. Like that's about how tall it is. And it's like a combat boot. But I love it because the two things that I care about most in basketball are traction. Basketball shoes are traction and ankle support, and the Kobe 9 has one of the best tractions ever, in my opinion. And because of how tall it is, like one of the best ankle support. And the colorway, the reason why it's the is I just like the colorway because it's like a white base with a ton of like pastel colors all around it.